Well, you know what? It's definitely a sequel, but it's a new chapter at the same time because, I mean, it's 20 years later. Y'all see that I got the hook up too, the T-shirts, blinged out. Oh, you got DC Young Fly, you have Fatboy SSE, you have P.O., Funny Mike. We bringing millennials, and putting them in a cast with John Weatherspoon, Michael Blackson, Cheryl Underwood, A.J. Johnson. So we mixing all that up, two generations. So I feel like this movie is so special, but the thing that's special about this, me and my son Romeo, we starring in the film and we financed the film. Like we're like the first father and son in hip hop to do this, to star in the comedy and finance it because, the movie is about ownership. It's about Black and Blue owning a restaurant called Big Papa's. But the thing about it is gentrification. They coming by the neighborhood out, none of us own nothing. So it's funny, hilariously funny, but it also has a message. And, you got to get your paper. And the only way we're going to be able to help the community, we have to own some things. And that's the message in the movie. But Debo, Tiny Lester, he's terrorizing. I got the Hook Up 2 movie once again. He played a character called T-Lay, and he got his nephew with him, which his nephew is Big Cookie. So he loved cookies, it's funny, but man, like they terrorizing everything in the movie. So you gotta watch out for the that kind of duo with the uncle and the nephew that's just bullies in the neighborhood, which you deal with that in the hood. So it's African American comedy at its best. It's adult comedy. So July 12th, go to the movie theaters and support this because people talk about ownership all the time. We supported Black Panther, which was a great film for our culture, but we didn't own it. I think, with this movie, me and Romeo gave 126 actors speaking roles in this film, which is in the Guinness Book of Records now because it's the most speaking roles in a Hollywood movie. Well, I've been doing it a long time, and it's like the magic just happened. Fatboy SSE, P.O. played a little guy in the film, and we have Erica Mendez in the movie, Juju, just hilarious. So it's a lot of up and coming talent that normally wouldn't have got an opportunity to be in a Hollywood film like this. So, but working with Fatboy, man, he's a star. DC Young Fly, he's a star. Funny Mike, he's a star. Like we have found some diamonds in the roughs in this movie. So, all the pieces is there. When I lived in the Bay, I was like, man, a lot of these guys never did songs together. And I said I wanted to put the Sebo, the Rapping Forte, the JT, the Bigger Figure, the RBL Posse, put them on a record with like an Ice Cube and, Brother Lynch Hung and all those guys because nobody did music together. I just went to every hood, got songs from everybody, put it together, and we call it the West Coast Bad Boys. And that project ended up blowing up, and it was one of those collaborations that still rememberable to this day. People ask me, man, when you gonna put another West Coast Bad Boys out? But no, and then taking that project and letting the world hear it. Like you say, Chicago, in the South, even though it was the West Coast Bad Boys, people could relate because it was somebody on that project that you're gonna like. It's almost like with the I Got the Hook Up 2 soundtrack. The first single was with me and Nipsey Hussle. It's special because this is the last song he recorded 2 days before he passed. So we did that song like 2 days before the tragedy. And the song is called Street Millionaire. So that song will be out July 12th with the soundtrack and the movie at the same time. The movie hit theaters July 12th. The soundtrack hit July 12th. So also me and Jeezy have a record on there, Ice Cream Man and Snowman. So it's a lot of big features on this project. So like this soundtrack, being able to put all these different, putting the new millennial artists on this soundtrack too, mixing it up. I'm working on a girl group, which is called, OS. And people say, what do OS mean? On some other shit. You know what I'm saying? These girls bad, but they also, they had integrity, man, because I feel like a lot of these female artists now, you don't see that. They just wilding out. So having the talent, integrity, and using your God-given talent, even though you come from the hood, where people gonna respect you, because you know you can't buy respect. You can buy everything else, but you can't buy respect. So you know, I think this is the year of the females. So having a big female group, I feel that's the next level for No Limit. And to be able to do this independently, we sold 100 million records, to tap back in to that fan base, you know, that newer generation of fans too. I mean, I think this is incredible. We're gonna do that with the soundtrack and then come back with the girls group. Well, you know, we had a close relationship, so I looked over a lot of contracts he had. Me and him we was jammed, you know what I'm saying? We probably recorded about 17 songs. We had just did the remix to Rap Nigga. We redid that. Me, Jeezy, Boosie, and I think maybe Jay-Z was on that record. So it's like we did a lot of records together. So you know, in the Crenshaw community, I have a basketball team, which is called the P. Miller Ballers, and I've been doing that for 19 years in that community. So me and Nipsey had a real relationship. DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Jennings, and all those guys I've been coaching them since 7th grade, and they are some of the top NBA players now. But in that same neighborhood, and you know, just the relationship that we had, man, was special because this guy had a heart of gold. That's what people don't realize. The sad part about it, the same album that's selling millions of copies now, when it first came out, only sold 52,000 copies, which is crazy. That's why I said give people, you know, they roses while they're here. And this was one of those guys that loved the community, ended up losing his life in a place where he loved the people and constantly gave to. So just like, you know, in Richmond, I had the record company, the record store, where I met, you know, Tupac. They used to come in there. I used to put a lot of their albums on consignment in my store. So that's how I met a lot of those guys. And we built relationships. Man, those two guys, I know they up in heaven, that really opened the doors for a lot of street artists. Nipsey for this new generation, and Tupac, you know, for our generation. And I feel like those guys are going to be missed because they were special. You're never going to find others like that. Yeah, I just think that, man, you know what? I don't worry about that stuff. Like, I believe in God, and everybody got a time, and everybody go through whatever. I think I've been blessed with all the stuff I've been through in my life to be here, you know, to get older, to be able to do my own bio. Like, after this, I got to hook up too. Then, you know, my biopic, The King of the South, to be able to be there and alive, to be a part of that, man, that's incredible from what I went through. You know what I'm saying? I'd experienced some real life situations, and but I never put my life in no other man's hand. You know, from where I come from, people don't realize, like, I've always, you know what, I put my trust in God, and I protect me. You know, that's the way I live. When you come from the streets, that's how it is. And I thank the man up above for sparing my life and let me be able to teach this culture. And that's why I give. Tell people the more you make, the more you can give. And when you come from where I come from, even the guys that's in the lead, and I tell all the kids that I done helped, I said, you don't owe me nothing, just go back and help the next generation. That's what it's about. So, you know, this movie is special for me because we financed it and starred in it. So why not support us? You know, every radio station, every television station should be supporting this because we gave our community opportunity to be in a real Hollywood. This movie is going to theaters July 12th. This is big for our culture and our people. And it's to motivate the next generation that we don't have to sit around and wait for somebody to do something for us. We could do this now. They know if P could do this, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? But it takes hard work to be an entrepreneur. It takes investing. It takes sacrificing. This is not an overnight process. It's not an easy process. I'm up in the morning. I'm jumping on planes. I might be shaving in the car. I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do what you got to do. You know, you might be in the hood one day. You in the boardroom and board meetings the next day. You know, if you're going to keep it real. My whole thing is planting them seeds to build a generational wealth. Like, it's not about fame with me because you can't take none of this with you. You know, nobody could take whatever they made here with them. So, you know, to be able to be here and be an inspiration and show kids that you do have to change. It's a mindset change too. So in education is important. If you don't know economics, you're never gonna have money. You know, you're just gonna keep losing. So I tell anybody, I don't care if you're gonna be a football player, a basketball player, don't be a football or basketball prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna use you. You know, like learn the business. Knowing that you have to create your own business in music. You know, in the acts that I have around me, I'm gonna teach them. The ones that take it and learn, you know what, y'all do what y'all gotta do. You look at Snoop. I don't hold people back. Snoop graduated from No Limit. Look, man, look what he's doing. He's a star. That's what I told him. I'm not holding you back, man. When you're ready to go out there and be a boss and do what you gotta do, go do it. I'm applauding that. That's what I want. I want people to be able to leave what we've built and go it on and be fruitful with more people and build more families. Because that's what it's about, man. This is about family. People, once you mess up the family, you're done. You know, people always think it's about individuals. No, man. You know, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. So, you know what? I mean, Zion is a good piece. You know, ZionWilliamson coming to New Orleans, and you know, people don't think that New Orleans is a big town, man. New Orleans is a great town because if you look at what LeBron did with Cleveland, that was a small city. LeBron turned that around. You know, you got the right players. I mean, even you look at, you know, you might say Chicago when Jordan got there, you know, even though Chicago was a big place, but they wasn't known for basketball like that. Jordan changed that. So I think ZionWilliamson could really do something special if he go in there and knowing that, you know, because the people going to love you. One thing about New Orleans, the people, when they love you, they love you. You know, they're going to show out for you, you know, and they're going to support you. So it's no place like that. I mean, if you're in the NBA, you got to go wherever that #1 spot go to. You know, that's just it. Oh yeah, this gonna be everywhere. But I'm saying to the bootleggers, at least give us a month for y'all bootleg this movie, man. Let us at least make a little. Let me make a little of my money back, dog. I told y'all I financed this movie with my son. Let me and Rome get a little of our money back for y'all bootleggers. But nah, man, this is definitely gonna be another classic, part 2. And I think what's unique about this film is all the people that came together to make this happen, man. Like, it's a lot to make a film. It took 7 months of editing. So this is different. This is not like making a record. You know, it took 7 months just to edit this movie. And then the marketing, preparing it for the theaters. You know, shout out to AMC for putting this everywhere. And this definitely will be another classic. You know, and I'm definitely proud of this project because we all came together, man. We came together, like you say, from the social media people to the Hollywood stars, and everybody did their thing, to the people behind the scenes, to the production team, you know, to the whole crew. So, you know, this is one of them projects that you like, man, and then me and Romeo as father and son, you know, you talk about Father's Day. This is probably the best gift that I could get, to be able to work with my son and say, man, we did this. You know, we talk about African-American fathers, you always talk about we're not in our kids' lives, we're not there. But for to be here and to do business with my son, you know, and my family, man, this project is definitely special to me. Well, you know, for me and Jeezy working on a new album called Ice Cream Man and Snowman. It's gonna be a cold summer. So, you know, we're about to come with some ice cream, man. You know what I'm saying? 31 flavors. Mix that ice cream with the snow. It's gonna be a cold summer. So y'all could put your white on, get your white parties, get ready. We pulling out the trucks, we pulling out the Rolls Royces, we pulling out the, man, we gonna have I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be a celebration this summer. Cause I got to hook up to me and Jeezy putting our album out, and we locking it down. The movie I got to hook up to, July 12th. Go to theater, support this. Bootleggers, give me a month, man. I know y'all gotta do y'all thing. Give me a month for y'all bootleg this.